fun begins.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
Greetings, young Jedi.
hello there.
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, Dagan Gera from Jedi Survivor, a video game that I have only recently played. I watched a playthrough a few years back, but I finally got it on Xbox One, and oh my gosh, what a great game. I was originally going to try and hold out for the Amazon 2-pack with the Commando droid, but then having played the game myself and realized that he's really one-armed more of the game than not, I elected to end up with both. I mean, come on, just a great-looking figure from first impressions in the box, and an interesting character. I gotta be honest, especially now that I'm, like, really refreshed on it, having played it myself, Dagan's kinda one-sided. Like, he's not a two-dimensional character, or three-dimensional, he's like a two-dimensional character. He's mad that the Jedi didn't let him do something a long time ago, and now he's evil because the Jedi didn't let him do something a long time ago, because the Jedi didn't believe in him, and so now he's evil, and no one can beat him to Tanalorr, and I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of depth, I'll openly say, but a very cool design and a fun boss in the game, and I do just ultimately like playing against him a lot. If you look at the front here, you'll see it has a label from Buy Sell Trade Ashtabula, one of my favorite places to shop if you are anywhere near Northeast Ohio or willing to make the drive. Buy Sell Trade Ashtabula in the Ashtabula Mall is a must stop, so go check them out. Special shout out to John, Mark, and David, and everyone else at the Buy Sell Trade team. So, that said, let's go ahead and get into the review, see what we're getting here. And here's Dagan Gera in the box. We'll take a look at this first, as we always do. This is your standard Black Series packaging, featuring a big window showing him and his accessories off nicely. Your Gaming Greats logo as a sticker there. Always love the foil sticker. Star Wars The Black Series, Dagan Gera. He is number 27 in the Gaming Greats line. Star Wars Jedi Survivor in that Gaming Greats light blue, or medium blue, aqua blue. Warning, 4+ Hasbro. This side of the box features some cool art of him with his double-bladed lightsaber. This side features your Gaming Greats logo, your wraparound window, your blue stripe, and your Black Series logo. Around back, you have your Black Series logo again, a close-up of that side art, a bio about him in several languages. Pause and read whichever language best applies to you. Again, number 27 in the Gaming Greats, bunch of legal stuff, Disney, Hasbro, barcode, legal stuff, nothing we care about around back. Up top is just a hanger tab, nothing to write home about, very much a standard Black Series box. All that said, let's open them up and see what is going on with Dagan Gera in the Black Series. Here's Dagan Gera out of the box. As always, we're going to start by taking a look at the accessories. So he comes with his two lightsabers, which are red-bladed, and the red is very, very vibrant on these. I love the shade of red, and as you see, they are very, very similar hilts, and of course there's a peg. The hilts at the bottom kind of have a little bit of an S shape, so they actually align in one direction. You can't just put it on in any direction. There is a correct way, and it pegs on nice and secure. Looks really nice with the black painted ribbed grips, and then the gold emitters. You know, his lightsaber in the game was always kind of interesting to me, because, like, you find him in the back to tank with one lightsaber, you know, a single-bladed lightsaber, and that's fine. And then later he just shows up with a dual-bladed lightsaber. You know, a dual-bladed lightsaber is very much a two-handed weapon. As someone that just grew up playing with the toy lightsabers, you didn't one-hand the Darth Maul saber. You know, you couldn't. Of course, I suppose Dagan has more training than I do. But it's just like, dude built a second lightsaber just 'cause. And I don't know. And honestly, it was just because Cal has so many cool stances in the game that, you know, a one-bladed saber villain, you know, is always going to seem underwhelming in my opinion. But, like, I was like, really? Like, so anyway, he double-bladed it, and then he looks cool when he's dual-wielding when he gets his force arm in the final battle. So that's how I'll have that figure. But this is a really cool-looking saber. Of course, the blades unpeg very easily, and not too easily, just easily enough. And the saber does fit in his hand nice and secure. However, he does not feature any sort of belt storage. It is purely for carrying and using, and that is it. If you aren't going to have him wielding it, then you set it off to the side, which is what I'm going to do now. So, saber set aside, let's take a look at Dagan. We'll take a start looking at that head sculpt. Honestly, it captures the likeness from the game pretty well. I do like what we have going on here. He has that kind of grayish white hair, which is almost his skin tone. I think in the game, it's maybe a little lighter than it is in figure form, but this isn't bad. It's pretty close. And I like what we're getting here. Looks really good. He actually has this rubber hood, which is sculpted hollow, so his hair hangs in the hood, but you can still turn the head and get your articulation. That's actually some really good forward thinking from Hasbro. But yeah, the likeness is good. I don't know, A, what the voice actor's name is, and B, if they modeled him after the voice actor. That's how they've done with basically everyone else in these games. But I like what we're getting. You see kind of like the... I always thought he's got lines on his chin and his neck and going around his shoulders. And I don't know, they always looked like stretch marks to me in the game when you see shirtless Dagan, but it's just whatever his species is. They have lined skin. But yeah, it's a good-looking likeness. I do like what we're getting here. He has some High Republic Jedi robes going on, and they're very ornate. I mean, they're simple. You know, it's just like a tan kind of jumpsuit going on with some, you know, some forearm bracers and some boots, and the overlays where they really get you with all the gold going on. And the gold is just so intricate. It's laid very nicely. Every gold area is raised from the fabric. It does have a fabric pattern to it, and just looks really good. There you see what's going on. They've given him a plug, because in the game he has his like empty sleeve tucked in. But if you look in there, you can see the butterfly joint. They engineered this for reuse, so nothing wrong there. You see the butterfly joint on this side is being used. But very, very clever. He has this rubber cloak, which admittedly, I like how it looks. It has a canvasy texture and the gold border. But, you know me, I'm a sucker for soft goods. I wish it was soft goods. When it's just like a straight hanging cloak like this, like, come on, soft goods, Hasbro, please. But ultimately, he does look really, really cool. Some neat, you know, rope patterning going on his belt. The Jedi of his era just wore nicer robes. There's nothing more to it than that. Even the boots. Boots are super cool. Maybe lacking some paint on the buckles, but yeah, it's a Hasbro figure. What are you going to do? But yeah, just a great looking figure. Oh, and a little gold on the ponytail. Forgot to mention that. Just a super, super cool figure. Great representation of the character. Fun character from the game. Like I said, not super deep. You know, he's very two-dimensional. But a very cool figure all the same. Now's as good a time as any to do a articulation segment. Feel like I've covered the likeness very well. I mean, it looks like him. It's a great representation. So, it features the double ball jointed neck system. Now, like I mentioned, his hair falls into that rubber hood. And so it's nice because it lets you articulate. A lot of figures you just wouldn't be able to, but it does limit your side to side because it's just traffic coned in there. You know, it's in the traffic cone, if you will. But you can get some good side to side, some nice pivot going on. Because of the long hair, not so much the hood, that's the furthest he can look up. Not great, but not terrible. He can go that far down and get his hair completely out of the hood, though. And yeah, just all sorts of range. His left arm can go that far up. The right arm can go as far up as you can imagine. He's got a deep butterfly joint in there. Can't tell you how far that butterfly joint goes. It really doesn't. But pretty good. 360 at the shoulders. And then, or shoulder, I should say. I should quit making the one-arm jokes. My Nana has one arm, and I love her. She's my favorite person. Single jointed elbow. Goes a little past 90 degrees, and then swivels. And then his left hand rotates and has a vertical hinge, which is my favorite hinge for lightsaber posing. His right hand lacks a hinge. There we go, doing it again. So, he features a mid-torso ball joint, allowing him to crunch that far forward. Pretty far back, although it does kind of break up the tunic in the front, but is what it is. And of course, you can get a ton of side-to-side and twist and anything you would want there. He can do a pretty perfect splits. Can't get much straighter out than that. And then he can kick pretty straight forward, maybe just a little below 90 degrees back. More than a lot of figures can. There's no upper thigh rotation, but it can pivot on the ball joint there. But that's fine because he has single jointed knees. Because the pants are baggy, the knee is a little big. I don't love that, but I'm not going to put him in any too crazy poses. But at least the material kind of does come down around the front. So as long as you're not just, you know, doing straight forward, if you're doing any kind of posing, it kind of hides better than that, you know. But swivels at the knee, and then the feet can point straight down, that far up, and a forward-facing pin for rocker, letting you get him in some decently wide stances with both feet flat on the ground. To do some comparisons, we always got to do some comparisons. Finally, besides some just generic army builders, someone to put with Cal Kestis. These guys battle a lot in the game, and I really ultimately do like the storyline with them. Gonna center them up a little bit just so I can bring in my other figures. Just because it's a good base, here is an Imperial Stormtrooper. We see plenty of them in Jedi Survivor, and that stands at 6 inches, so it gives you a pretty good basis for height. And then because it's just a newer figure that I have come to really love, here's the Jedi Survivor Super Battle Droid, since he kind of ends up in charge of them at some point in the game. So yeah, all in all, I like the scale here. Looks pretty good. Let's get into my wrap-up. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the gaming greats Dagan Gera? I mean, honestly, it's a pretty flawless figure. I think that they've done a great job with the sculpting and the articulation, and on figures like this where you don't quite get what you get with an ordinary figure just due to the fact that there's one less limb, there's less plastic, there's less, points of articulation. It's nice to feel like you feel on this one, where it feels like they put a little more effort into the paint on it, the deco, the sculpting and painting of the lightsaber. Like, I really have no negatives. The knee articulation's a little ugly, but, not the end of the world. I can get over that. He articulates well. Any pose I could ever want from a Dagan Gera, I've managed to get from him, and I'm just super happy I have this figure. I'm glad I didn't wait. I'm glad that I picked him up now. So yeah, highly recommend picking him up. I think he's a great addition to anyone's collection. Like I said in the beginning, if you are capable of making it to Ashtabula, Ohio, check out Buy, Sell, Trade in the Ashtabula Mall. Amazing, amazing local collector shop. I love that place dearly. They supply me a lot of my figures, and so I shout them out wherever I can. And yeah, great figure. If you have the opportunity to pick him up, I strongly advise it. Great pickup for you. That's it for now. It means a lot that you watched. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the end of video stuff. You know the drill. I'm going to go work on something else now. So until next time, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.